I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm a career and leadership coach, the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com and NoBSCoachingAdvice.com. A lot of the work I do involves working with people who are job hunting, hiring, managing, and leading situations where they need to be more effective. And one of my favorite, I can't believe I haven't done this before, is the interview in an atypical place. The airport, the hotel bar, not a restaurant. Restaurants are more common, but the place that's a little out of the ordinary. And I want to remind you of a couple of things. Number one, you're in a setting where it's really easy to let your guard down. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You're always in a situation where you're trying to create a great impression. So if you can, and I say it that way because if it's being done at an airport club, you may not have the ability to be admitted into the club until they get there. So let's say you're at the standard hotel bar, or you're waiting to go into the airport club, and you're in a situation where you can get there, grab a table first. I want you to grab a table rather than sit at the bar. In grabbing a table, I want you to be on the inside rather than the outside. The inside being the side where the wall is at your back. And the reason for that is, and it's a question of if possible, I want you to be in a situation where you can see someone approaching you, see the person approaching you, and at the same time, once they're seated, they're facing the wall and you. There are no distractions for them. Also, if this is a meeting that's being set up by a third party or even by them, even if you look at the LinkedIn profile that may be a little out of date, ask them for if they can send a quick photo of them to you so you can recognize them, and do the same so that in this way, it's easy to spot one another. Simple thing, but again, a simple reminder can make a difference in whether you connect easily or whether you're doing the thing where you spot someone kind of looking around, looking lost, and you got to do the hand wave. Avoid that. Just make it easy for one another to recognize each other. The conversation. They're a leader in an organization. That's why you're in an airport. That's why you're in a hotel bar, some other atypical place, and not a restaurant or in their office. So recognizing that this is business and social, you want to engage in more friendly conversation while at the same time having a professional edge. So if they're asking about your background, you can talk about your experience as you might elsewhere, and you can. If they do the walk me through your background question, you can always spend about 15, 20 seconds talking about the overall aspect of your experience, and then segue it by saying, well, what's probably most relevant about my background for the role as it's been described to me up until this point is my experience with, and you kind of talk about that relevant experience. And at some point, I want you to flip the question to them and ask them, and what about you? How did you wind up in this role? How did you wind up setting up this organization? I looked at your LinkedIn profile, and it gives me a sense of what your experience was, but how did you get to this point? And notice what you've done is you're making it social here. Now, once they've done that, what I'm trying to do is to get a degree of comfort between the two of you here. So if you're at a hotel bar, don't do it at the bar, do it again at a table. At the airport, like I said, back to the wall, and you're trying to make it a more comfortable conversation, and make it a conversation, not an inquisition of them or of you. And remember, smile, continue eye contact. Every once in a while, if you want to give the sincerity look, you're holding your non-alcoholic beverage, looking down for a moment, and then coming back for eye contact in order to make the connection again. Again, a moment where you're looking down is perceived as reflection, and for questions that involve emotional intelligence, it's a great move. At one point, they're going to switch it to either say, I think you're terrific, or words to that effect, or they're going to say, I'm going to get back to my office in order to, I've got a meeting here, but I'll get back in touch with my office to let them know about next steps. Have you, one last question of you. Is there anything that you've heard or not heard that gives you reason to hesitate about my experience and suitability for this role? And what that does is give them an opportunity to tell you whatever the truth is for them about you. And yes, they can lie, obviously, but you're giving them a chance to open up to you so that in this way, if there's something that you missed, you have a way of correcting it. Jeff Altman here. Hope you found this helpful. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. Go to the site. Go exploring. There's a lot there that'll help you. Also, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching from me or you have some questions for me, you can schedule time through the website so that I can be of help to you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the little icon in the lower right or the picture of me in the upper left. You'll get notifications whenever I release something new. And you can watch my job search videos on the Job Search TV app, which is available for Fire TV and other Amazon-related sets. Have a great day and take care.